Hi Calf Roping fans, it's Jody Green, and it's Tie Down Tip Tuesday. And this Tuesday, well, we were going to do some roping today, but due to the negative 15 degree below zero and a wind chill factor of negative 45, I decided to talk a little bit about maintenance and how to get a polygrass rope right in different conditions. First of all, let's talk about when you purchase your polygrass rope and you get your polygrass rope in. The thing I look for when I buy my polygrass is I want a good straight eye, or I want that rope to lay a little off to the right. That way when the rope comes around, the rope won't have no twist in it. And when I'm starting out to break this polygrass rope in, I want to get it really, really limber. You want it really limber, and you want to stretch it. You can either stretch it to like a post or something, and I like to stretch it out. Take a gunny sack, put baby powder, get all the burrs and stuff out of it, and then after I do that, I like to make one really good run off a horse and rope him, and then I put my rope right in this can and baby powder it and just kind of let it sit around for a little bit, and it'll eventually they get good. So now I want to talk about different conditions when we use this polygrass rope. First of all, let's talk about going to somewhere where it's humid. Humidity on a polygrass rope will make this polygrass rope stiff. So what I like to do, if I'm in a you're going to be in a humid area the night before, I like to make my rope really limber. I like to find somewhere where I can either sun it, or if you can't find somewhere to sun it, just you can usually, if you're in a pickup, try to put it in your pickup. Rule of thumb, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Right after that, pull it out immediately. Don't mess with it. Just pull it out, stick it in your rope can, baby powder on it, and then tie it on. Because that, and then go on with it. Because if it's a touch limber than you would normally like it, it will be just right by the time you're going to use it. Because the humidity is going to make that rope get stiff. So there's a good tip for you to really try to make your rope a touch limber than you would like it to be when it's humid. Okay. So now I'm going to talk about what you do when in drier conditions, drier air. Okay. What I like to do is now I want to keep that rope a little bit more stiff, harder feeling. So I like to put it in a can. Some people like to use a wet rag. Well, and then put it in the middle. Well, I personally don't like that, because sometimes it gets hard spots in your rope and stuff like that. I like to cut a potato in half, put the half of the potato in, and let the moisture of the potato get my rope. And that has had a lot of success with that, keeping that rope more stiff, more ready to go, and not have all the hard spots that you would get when you use a wet rag. And another thing is cold air. Cold air. Say you're going in the winter buildings, you're going in winter ropings and stuff. You really want to keep this rope as much as you can, in a warm area. Make sure you take your rope can in, put it somewhere it's warm. Because if you leave your rope can out in your truck and it's really cold out there, this rope has enough poly in it, it will get limber. So then when it gets limber and you bring it inside, it won't have its true feeling. It could get limber and then be really stiff in just a few seconds. So that's a point that I wanted to make, when you're in a cold atmosphere. Polygrass ropes, if you're roping and you're roping at a good high level, these are the best ropes. These are the best ropes out there. They have no stretch. They have a lot of action, a lot of feel. I like them because I can make them touch more softer, and they don't have all the bounce that a poly would and stuff. So for me, a polygrass rope is what I use and what I like to use. And when I put my polygrass rope up in its can, if I've got a rope and that rope lays a little to the left and a little straight, I like to stick the rope in the rope can, and I like to stick it down like so, like that. Now if the rope is already laying to the right more, then I like to stick it like that. And another thing you need to think about when you do get polygrass ropes is don't put a new polygrass rope with an old polygrass rope. What happens then is that new polygrass rope is going to take all the good feeling stuff and make that new rope more limber. And try to keep your brands of ropes together. So if you use a Goodrich or a Johnson or a Webb, try to keep a Webb with a Webb, a Goodrich with a Goodrich, because each rope has a different treat. Each company treats their ropes different. So I mean, like if I was to take this here Johnson rope and put it with a King rope, that King rope is probably going to make this Johnson rope more limber. So that is a good point. You need to put the brand of ropes together. If you're going to use polygrass ropes, try to keep an old rope with an old rope, a new rope with a new rope. I like to try to break ropes in at two to three ropes at a time, and let those ropes always be together, so that way they're the same, on the same level, you know. So that's something that's very important when you're using these ropes, is to keep the same ropes together, same brand, all that together. So I like to just turn it over, put it in, keep it nice and level in there. I like to do no more than 3 ropes in the medium-sized can. No more than 3, because I like my coils to be big. I don't want no twist, nothing like that. Anything that can hurt the rope in this can. I hope this tips about polygrass ropes helps you maintenance your ropes and keep them right, because polygrass ropes are some of the best ropes out there to use, and they take a lot of work to make them right. So work at it, get them right, and I hope to see you next week. Maybe we'll be in the roping pen, and we're going to be there. It's supposed to be a little warmer, so I can't wait. And so guys, good luck for 2015. It's going to be a good year, and stay tuned next week for Tie Down Tip Tuesday. See y'all.